Hi guys, Kevin here. Welcome to my kitchen. For dinner the other night, I made something called skillet black beans with fruit salsa and yellow coconut rice. The recipe comes from the Moosewood Restaurant Table Cookbook. Anyway, the dish was profoundly delicious. I thought I should make it again today so that you can try it too. The recipe begins with the fruit salsa, and for the fruit you could use mangoes or pineapple or peaches, something that you have at your grocery store or something that's in season. I'm using mangoes, which I already peeled and diced. And you want to put the fruit in a bowl and then take a lime, cut it in half, and I'm going to add the juice of the lime to the fruit. Yeah, I really like this Mexican juicing gadget. And then add a half teaspoon of salt and 1/8 teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper. Yeah, this is one of the easiest salsas you'll ever make. And then add about a tablespoon of chopped fresh cilantro. And if you're one of the people who absolutely cannot stand cilantro, go ahead and substitute green onion or scallion. And then give the salsa a toss. And then set it aside so the flavors can mingle. And then we'll move on to the rice. Okay, let's make the coconut rice. Now, I'm using jasmine rice, but any long grain white rice will work. And what you do is measure out 1.5 cups of the rice and put it in a fine mesh sieve. I'm using a 1/2 cup measure here. And then we have to rinse this just briefly under cold water. And rinsing it is going to remove some of the surface starch from the grains so that the rice won't clump together as it cooks. So I'm going to rinse mine and I'll be right back. All right, here's my briefly rinsed rice, and put that in a fairly heavy pot. And then to the rice we have to add 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric. This is going to turn the rice a gorgeous shade of gold. And I'll tell you, this rice is so wonderful that you may want to make rice this way every time. And I'm also adding a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and about 1 teaspoon of olive or vegetable oil. And we have to bring this over to the stove. Yeah, so set the pot over medium-high heat and then stir the grains of rice with the turmeric and the salt and the oil, for about a minute. I won't make you watch me stir this for a whole minute, so I'll turn the camera off and then come back when we're ready. Okay, it's been a minute and look at how beautiful this rice looks. It's a gorgeous golden color. Then add 1.5 cups of water. And because it's coconut rice, we have to add coconut milk. And I'm adding 1/2 can. This is a 13.5 fluid ounce can of coconut milk. Or the equivalent of 3/4 of a cup. And I've already measured that out, so in it goes. And then we're going to bring this to a boil. Oh, I forgot to mention that we will be using the other half of this can when we do the beans. So you're not going to waste any of the coconut milk. All right, the rice is at the boiling stage. So I'm going to move it over to my smallest burner and on the lowest flame, and then cover the pot, and then let the rice cook until all of the liquid is absorbed, 15 to 20 minutes. Well, while the rice is cooking, we might as well go ahead and prepare the beans. So put, a teaspoon or so of olive oil in a skillet, a large skillet, and then add either, let's see how much, 2/3 cup minced shallots, or if you don't have shallots, you could use onion. I'm using red onion that I happen to have grown in my garden. In you go. And then we need some garlic. 2 or 3 cloves, although I have fallen madly in love with this garlic paste. It's so easy to use. So we're going to call this 1, 2, 3 garlic cloves. So easy. And then, we need the heat on, don't we? We also need ginger, about a tablespoon. And so I have a knob of ginger that I peeled and going to use this microplane zester to grate the ginger. I wish that ginger came in one of those tubes, although it's really not hard to grate. And fresh ginger, if you've never tried it, is really wonderful. Super healthy too. I sometimes drink ginger tea whenever I'm feeling under the weather. How are we doing here? Well, we will call that a tablespoon. And then we need to let this simmer, or rather, we're going to saute this just until the onions start to color. I'll come back when they are ready. All right, the onions are sizzling away, and I'm continuing to add ginger, because again, I do want a full tablespoon worth in here. And I think we've got just that. And this smells really terrific already. So the onions are starting to color. And next up, going to add the black beans. And that's 4.5 cups of cooked and drained black beans, or use 3 cans, where's the camera? 3 cans, these are, what's this, 15.5 ounce cans of black beans, rinsed and drained. Give those a stir. And then also I'm going to lower the heat, so I don't want the onion to burn. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of red curry paste. And red curry paste comes in a jar like this. This one says Thai Kitchen. Well, that's the brand, Thai Kitchen. So 2 tablespoons, which will add some heat, but it won't be enough heat to set your tongue on fire. You could always add more if you like. Stir that in. And then we need a 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice. And I'm simply going to add the juice of 3 limes. I used 2 limes when I made this the other day. And the beans were wonderful, but I think they will be extra wonderful if I use the juice of 3 limes. Yeah, this gadget really gets, well, it presses out all of the juice from the lime. It's counterintuitive. You place the lime cut side down and then squeeze. Sorry, I'm making you watch me do all of the limes. And that's it. That's 3 whole limes. Give this a stir. And then I have to check the rice. The rice is done, so let me cut the heat off. Yeah, this dish comes together pretty quickly. Then we need to add 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk. And I'm just using the remainder of the coconut milk because that is, as I said earlier, 3/4 of a cup. Stir that in. And then you want to add some salt. I'm adding 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And optional is, where did I put it? Here it is. Optional ingredient, 1 tablespoon brown sugar. I did use this the other day, and it was terrific in the black bean mixture. And then this needs to simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll come back. All right, this has simmered for 10 minutes. So now take just a common potato masher and just mash some, but not all of the beans. This will thicken up the sauce. Our dinner is ready. We're going to assemble the black bean dinner in just a moment. First, I have a confession. When I made this salsa the other day, I forgot to add the salt, and the salsa was really delicious. Today, I added the salt, which is called for in the Moosewood book recipe, and the salsa tasted salty, not good. So I've just poured this into a fine mesh sieve. I ran water over it, trying to rinse off the salt. And then I re-added the lime juice and the cayenne pepper and the cilantro. So I took a bite. I took one of the little mango dice, one of the little mango cubes, and it tasted good to me. So anyway, don't add salt when you make the mango salsa, okay? So this recipe makes enough for 4 very generous servings. What you do is first fluff the rice with a fork, and then spoon some of the rice onto a plate, or I'm using a shallow soup plate or bowl. Then add some of the beautiful red curry pasty black beans and top it off with a salsa to which you did not add any salt. I want lots of salsa on mine. And then for garnish, you could add some of the chopped cilantro leaves or scallion, whatever you decided to use. Here's what it looks like. It's a beautiful presentation, I think. And now for a taste. You could eat this with a fork or with a spoon. It's nice to have options, right? I have to tell you, I really love every component of this dish. The rice with the coconut is truly aromatic. The beans are zingy with lime juice, and again, they have just that tiny bit of heat from the red curry paste. And the salsa, providing you don't add any salt, is sweet and delicious. Well, thank you for spending time with me today. I really hope you'll give this recipe a try. Just remember, do not add any salt to the salsa. And I hope you will subscribe to this YouTube channel and tap the little bell icon so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video. I'll see you very soon with another delicious recipe. Bye for now.